Beautiful. Good morning. Welcome back. It is the 8th episode of Winter Wonders, and I'm so very, very glad that y'all are here. And this episode is actually called Winter Wellness. Now, as you know, my name is Winter, so I get to use my name quite often. But if I'm being honest, this episode's gonna kind of cover everything from just wellness, no matter the season, but like also some specific things that like might help you in the wintertime, because I believe we're officially in that part of seasonal depression that everybody gets. So I'm super excited for this episode. If anything, about 2 episodes ago, I did Winter is Weird, and I did it completely scriptless. I didn't have any notes, I didn't have anything. And after using my social media to gather some data, turns out y'all enjoyed those type of videos 10 times more comparative to the ones, or comparable to the ones that I have scripted. So today is going to be another one of those. So I'm so grateful for you tuning in, super excited, and let's get right down to it. So Winter wellness, let's be real. I kind of want us all to take a breath. I know I'm not any type of psychologist, I'm not any type of helper of any sort, but learning through the tricks of the trades, they actually say breathing in, holding that breath, and then slowly releasing it out. If you do that anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5 times, it actually sends so much oxygen to your brain that it is as effective of calming you down and allowing you to just focus and relax as comparable to some like narcotics or some like anxiety medicines out there. So I'm just going to take a second. I'll probably end up not taking the entire 3 to 5 breaths because I'm not just going to be quiet. But like everyone, no matter if you're in the car, if you're listening to this at school, this, that, I don't even care. Just like take a deep breath. So we're going to do it together. So 1, 2, 3, remember, you're going to take a big deep breath. You're going to hold it until I tell you to release it. And when you're releasing it, you don't want to just let it out. Like you want to slowly let it out. Like you're allowing basically that chemical reaction that happened in your lungs from taking in carbon dioxide being, processed. And then did I say taking in carbon dioxide? Taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Wow. Science. I miss it. Anyways, so let's do this together. So like 1, 2, 3. Keep holding. And we're going to release in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully that's when that release ended. Let's do it just one more time. So 1, 2, 3. Big deep breath in. Let's hold it. And let's release. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us. If anything, I know that was only 2 and I can't say that I'm so much better, but I will admit, like, it is a great calmer. So there's at least one tip of trick that you could hopefully use from taking from this podcast episode. So let's hit right down to it. So number one, how are y'all? Okay, 2025. Let's be real. And the reason why I asked this question, I know no one's responding back with me, but I either hear people text me or they say like, I remember this part of the video. So it's actually become extremely interactive. So like at this point, text me at the moment you hear this podcast, whether it's now or 20 years from now. Just be like, hey, Winter. By the way, I'm doing good. I appreciate like winter wellness and that episode of just like getting back to our core, figuring it out, taking a stop, taking a big deep breath, a step back, and kind of analyzing where we are and where we want to be and the next couple steps to kind of get us there. So 2025, I don't know about y'all, but at least in my personal experience, guys, 2025 is like literally kicked my booty with a capital B. Goodness gracious. I mean, we're talking everything from family, finances, work, this or that. Like, I'm not saying anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Just knock on wood. I'm very blessed. I haven't lost anyone. I still have my car. I still have a, roof over my head and, food on the table at night. So I'm very blessed in that, area. But like for the most part, 2025, you've been pushing and it's only February. Like, I'm gonna need you to take a big old, you know what? I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and just let you analyze what you need to do 2025, because I've been doing it. Like, I know my like New Year's resolution hasn't been perfect and all that. We had all these episodes ago, and like I've had some lower days, but for the most part I'm still trucking, and I need you to pull your side of the way because my back hurts from carrying this team 2025. Just saying. Deli shoes. Thank you so much for allowing me to sip on some coffee. I actually kind of want to like interact. Like I don't know. It sounds very good. I don't know. I want to be one of those hosts that have their drinking and stuff like that. And inevitably, I will get my way to Red Bull. But today, I don't know. I've been cold all day. The little phalanges are not doing well. They're on the colder side. Speaking of cold, let's be real. Winter wellness, we are deep in the season of winter, and we have already talked about that. Seasonal depression is huge, and it comes around and it affects so many adults every single year, and that's across the world. That's not just the United States. So if anything, I got kind of like 5 tips or tricks that I'm going to kind of give you real quick, that at least if I'm not doing it, I'm going to try to be better about implementing it. But these are 5 main tips that, especially when these moments come around and you're like, okay, like I need to get back to my human root core. I need to actually get it to the point that I'm healthy mentally, physically, all of your pillars across the board as health, that you're there. And these are 5 tips or tricks that hopefully will get you there. So starting off with the first one, and I'm glad this is the first one because I want to be on the same page as you that no one is perfect. Goals can be changed, modified, and adapted. And the first one is exercise. Now, whether we're talking about releasing endorphins, lowering cortisol levels, brain function, everything, there is no bad wrong that exercise can do to you, unless, of course, you go in to the gym and you are not, safely or with knowledge using any type of, equipment or just any type. I mean, you could be doing just body material, and if you do it wrong, you could actually injure yourself. So, like, as long as you're making sure you're being careful on that, exercise is huge. Now, I am the first to say that for the most part, we have done our our hikes every month. I'm super proud of that. We also have been very, very good about like exercising on a weekly basis. But I will admit there's been a week or two since the start of 2025 that we got super busy, we were drowned. I've been picking up extra shifts here and there. So we've just had some moments that life gets busy, and that's okay. And that's what this episode is about. This episode is not to tell you, hey, you're doing wrong. Hey, this is bad. Hey, why aren't you being better? This episode is truly to say, one, I feel you, homie. 2025. I told you it's been kicking my butt. It's been rough. But I'm also here saying that you do have people. I believe in the saying that you surround yourself by people that you want to be like or who you want to inevitably become, right? So at that point, I always use the analogy of like a good fruit being surrounded by moldy fruit, right? I want to be your good fruit. I want this podcast to be something where, hey, I was on the way to work, I was here, I was doing this, but I listened, and this one episode, yeah, she said all this like random stuff and it took her 20 minutes to get to the point, but at least the point kind of made sense. And that's kind of what this is. It's take these 5 tips and tricks and use them in the best of your abilities to always make sure you're taking that first, like that step forward for health, right? When you're going to make that decision of what you're going to eat or whether you're going to exercise or not or whatever the day may bring, ask yourself, okay, which one of the two is a healthier option? And choose that. And let's say it's not a crazy difference. Hey, you still chose the healthier option, and I'm proud of you. So, secondly, so back to that main point, exercise. I'm going to try to be better at it. I need to start implementing it on a daily basis and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm naturally going to work on. But we made it. We're doing good. I'm still alive. Like I said, like at this point, if we're still here, we're doing good. Now, the second thing, I actually want to take this time to say this and be vulnerable because if anything, I was fishing for compliments the other day, and I'm not a fisherman when it comes to compliments. Like, I have tried my best to hold self-worth to a certain extent. So I know the things that I'm good at and what I can implement and what I can do really well, right? And then I know my areas of growth. But in an area that I do believe I hope I do well, but I was starting to fish for compliments, is laughter. So if you didn't know this, when you are laughing, your body actually releases the endorphins, and all of these chemicals actually go to your brain, and they bring out all of these good things, right? All of these healthy vibes, good emotions. We're talking stress, anything along those lines. So laughter is actually really good. Now, I have the best way to fix it. You ready for this? Let's get serious. I'm going to take a sip of coffee so you know how serious I am. Ready? I'm going to make it sound ASMR. Delicious. Anyways, I am on social media. If you did not know this, it's winter.realestate. That's basically across all platforms. If not, my name's Winter Walden. You can easily find me through that on Facebook. But guys, I post funny videos all the time. If anything, I actually, within the last 2 weeks, I started getting to the point, I used to only post once a day. Now I'm actually getting to the point that I've gotten a lot under my belt, and content creation isn't, the hardest thing, and being able to research algorithms and really figuring it out and taking the time. Like, I've been able to like progress myself in that. I'm really proud of that. So laughter wise, I highly recommend, please go to my social medias. I know that there's some laughter that's really, really, like pushed towards real estate. And that's just because, like, I want to show people that, like, real estate can be fun. It can be funny. It can be this amazing situation where, yeah, there's some headaches, but like, I hope you had fun the entire time, So, like, that's one of my biggest things. But if not, like, I'm always posting so many random things. Like, I even had this one, it had nothing to do in the actual video itself about real estate, but like, I just set up the phone and I was like, okay, stare out this window, do different like emotional things. And I don't know, someone allowed me to have a camera, and that shouldn't be allowed, but they did. I set it up, I push record, and after about a minute, I mean, I got all emotional, and then, went to CapCut, did all this, and I was like, wait a second, put some things together, change the video around, and I was like, what if it's like a bad dream? Because I'm looking so very sad in these videos, and it's like I'm at this open house while recording this, and I'm like, oh, a bad dream about an open house. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Sorry, random train of thought there, but laughter, guys, it's gonna help you. Literally surround your people with that you like. Make sure your social media, so this is just my personal opinion. I always like to have that forward thinking, and stuff like that. So for example, back in the day when you watched TV, that was a lot of like how we saw the world, right? We watched it through TV. And some people watched whatever they wanted to, and some people would watch bad things, and some people would literally get to the point like, hey, they would get upset with themselves. In other words, for example, scary movies. Bro, don't watch a scary movie at 9 o'clock if you're scared of the dark. Yes, I'm coming out myself. Secondly, please don't tell anybody that. I'm working with my own issues. I'm working on it. But like, it's one of those, like, make sure that what you're watching is kind of smart. So like, as an adult, I'm not saying I'm grown, but we don't watch scary movies in the deep darkest night unless like I'm just feeling risky that day, because like I'm scared of the dark. I'm gonna run the entire way to my bedroom. I'm gonna overthink because my brain likes to scare me, and it's gonna be like, what's behind that door? Is there something behind the shower curtain? Is there something under the bed? So then I'm gonna jump in the bed because I don't want my feet getting attacked, and then it's just gonna lead to this entire like anxiety, maybe bad dreams, maybe whatever. So I don't do that. Now here's the same thing. Social media wise, guys, I'm not a political person, and sometimes I am not a political person because it literally just upsets me, because it's something that in a long-term sense of things, I can't control and fix it right there in that moment. If a law is passed and so on and so forth, I can't go down there and be like, well, I'm Winter and I'm the host of Winter Wonders, so therefore you gotta listen to me. I wish that was how life works, but it's not. So therefore, make sure your social medias are also targeted around that same analogy of good fruit. Make sure, so like my TikTok, it has slowly morphed into like more of real estate, but like even Kaylee can vouch for this. My TikTok has always been funny when we talk about my For You page. Like if it doesn't have, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm picky and I have this standard of watching, but like, I'm not gonna lie, if you don't get my attention in the first 5 seconds, and if you don't even have like 100K plus likes, like I'm most likely scrolling. I'm like, nah, this is not for me, blah, 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 blah. My attention span, is literally the size of a Tic Tac, and y'all know this because you're still listening at this point, so that's obvious. But for the most part, how did we get here? Oh my Lanta. I don't know why y'all like this. I literally was like script versus no script, and a lot of y'all said no script, and then I'm like, okay, that's great. But then like we get here and I don't even remember what we were talking about. Hold on. Laughter, my account, TikTok. Oh, I got you. I remembered. So I'm not a political person. It does scare me. So I don't, especially with like this last season of election stuff. Number one, I do like to stay informed. Number two, I do like unbiased information. But especially with the internet, you can't control what you see. You don't know how valid or the validity of the video or the resources that they're getting at. So unless I know who their mama is and that they mean business and they're like straight up, they're good and they got the background, I'm not going to listen, because most likely you're going to say something and then it's going to scare me. And then I'm going to think about it for however rest of my day. And it could just be you said that because you wanted to get views and allow for this algorithm and so on and so forth. And you just played into the business. And I don't allow that. So my social medias, I always try to make sure, like, if anything, I keep motivational things. I love following those. I love following things that just kind of hype me up. So like, if you notice that your social media, you're getting drawn and lost for 30 minutes and then it's this sad, you come off of the social media and all of this, like, in a not rude way. You are grown, you may do what you like, but it might be something that you kind of look into, because whether it's here or whether it's the person you're talking to, you're still surrounding yourself with what you want to be and where you want to be. So exercise was the first one, laughter was the second. Now the third one is my favorite one. It's half of the reason why I moved to Idaho, to an extent, because I'm learning. Okay, so background knowledge for my people who don't live in Texas. So, for example, it is February 18th. I have not looked at the weather down in Texas, but I know they had like a little bit of snow not too long ago. Like they always freak out, so I see it all the time. But anywho, for the most part, in February, by the end of February, hiking, everything, I was always going to be outside in Texas because it honestly got warm. Like I have a video of someone jumping into water on a hike in February, in Texas, and that's normal because I would say that March, April, May is not necessary. I don't know. I would say February and March are truly your spring, and then honestly, April and May can be that like early time summer, because I've had Mays right before we moved up here. I remember it was crazy. We moved up here, so we moved up here June 1st, right? So May 31st, I believe it goes to the 31st of May. I was fixing my car. We had to put a water pump in it right before we left, which was the scariest anxiety thing ever. I'm like, cool, we just put a water pump in here. Can you make it 1,400 miles on a trip? I hope so, because you need to. Anyways, welcome to winter's life. But anyway, so I was literally outside in Texas replacing this water pump, and I'm telling you, I'm literally profusely sweating. I believe it's 99, if not, it's like 97, 98. Like it was almost 100, because I was like, dude, is it going to break 100 on the last day here? I'm in Texas. And when I tell you that heat is so very intense, on top of the fact that like I wasn't doing it in a shaded area, so everything in its mama gets hot. Like imagine working with all of those tools. Like if anything, the Idahoans know this. Imagine going and picking up a tool set in the middle of the winter time, bro. You better have like nice gloves on that you can actually still work with your fingers, because those dudes are gonna be frozen, man. They're cold. Well, the opposite in Texas, dude, they're hot, like hot tamales, hot potatoes. You're gonna throw them. Anyways, and then it was funny. We drove the 1,400 miles, and the first night that we were there, we had to put hoodies on. Like we got there, and it was that like nice breeze of 60 in the evening, which I have adapted to, and it is amazing. But as a Texan, not being in that climate, not adapting at that point in time, I was cold. I was so 4th of July. Ooh, I remember literally going and putting on this huge jacket, and I told Kaylee, I was like, if this is 4th of July, homie, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. What is January if this is July? Anyways, but I did make it. I honestly really love the snow, and I am a huge believer that if you learn how to dress appropriately, you actually wear the correct clothes that help with the warmth, you're totally fine. You just have to be prepared, and you have to know, and I hate to say this, you do have to have a little bit of money of just like, okay, actually get socks that are going to allow your toes to not like go numb. Make sure you have decent gloves, like all of the facing and stuff like that. So anyways, not going to spend that. So outside is my next one. That is what nature is. So whether you are absorbing D3, every bit of it, nature helps with those cortisol levels going down. Now, cortisol is sometimes related to stress, so higher the cortisol, higher your stress. So just 30 minutes a day. If anything, I have my windows wide open, and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Idaho, which we don't get very, very often here in the winter months. So after this podcast, I am straight up, even if I freeze a little bit, I'll put my gloves on. I just need to go like absorb it. So I'll be outside for like 15 minutes. But anywho, go outside, be one with nature. If anything, especially in the summertime, especially here in Idaho, if I can work outside, I'm working outside. I'm one of those, I'll take my book, I'll take my iPad, whatever I'm doing, or if I'm creating and doing content on my phone, I will go sit in the grass and do it, because I love the outdoors. It's my favorite. So go out there, be one with nature. Now there's two left. One of them I'm pretty good on. I've been very blessed. I'm going to knock on wood. I want to say that this one I'm not going to harp on, because I believe each human is structured in a different way, where they are affected, or it's this, or there's medication, or there's foods, or there anything in between. But sleep is so very important for a human, naturally, at least 7 to 8 hours. And then I hate to say this, but there's a lot of people that are like, well, I slept good on this night, and then I was up, and then I slept good on this night, and then blah 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 blah. And it's not the fact that you can sleep good a couple times a week, it's the fact that you more have that schedule and that routine. So think of your body as like a phone charger, right? If you just like plugged it in at any time that you wanted to, but it was here or it was there, like imagine how much a phone's going to last. If you already had it on low power mode, you just put it in there for the couple hours that you needed. Now you basically got it up to 48, 60%. I know chargers are better than that, but Humor me for my analogy, I think. Anywho, it's the same exact thing. Number one, you're not going to have a great of a charge the next day. It's most likely going to die on you. It's not going to be as efficient. Comparable to if you plugged it in, gave it the plentiful amount of time. Same thing with the human body. Just try your best with sleep. I'm not going to go into the details because, like I said, there's sleep apnea. There's people who struggle with sleeping. And I've just been really blessed. Falling asleep is actually really easy to me. My friends have always hated me because I am the friend that if it is dark outside and I sit upon the couch and y'all start a movie, you bet your bologna within 10-15 minutes. If it's not straight up a horror movie and I'm shivering my timbers on that couch, I'm going to be passed out. Just like smooth sing it, once my body goes in I guess it's because like I'm ADHD, maybe. I don't know if this correlates. I kind of want to do my research before I just start saying these facts out, but like straight up I move and run like a chicken with my head cut off like 24/7. So I assume that when I sit on couch and I don't move and my body has time to go like relax, I bet it literally says relax and then pass out. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm very grateful, very blessed. But futuristically, if you can work on that sleep schedule, even if it's just like, hey, 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like getting 1% better each day is still a growth, and I'm proud of you if that's what you're doing. So don't forget that. And the last one, I am so very bad about this because number one, I'm picky, and I don't know why I'm picky or where I got. You know what? I think it is. Texas water is disgusting. Tap water, ooh, I don't know. I'm so picky. Y'all have no idea. Like, I'm not saying I'm bougie or anything, but I'm pretty decently bougie. Like, water bottle, always preferred. But scientifically, the amount of plastic and all that kills my heart. So I have always tried to avoid that, right? Well, in doing that, I have gone through every type of all the Britas, all the filters, all the gallons, all the jugs, all the you do this, leave it in the fridge, to the faucets where you actually change it and you put it on the faucet and it's filtered straight through the faucets. You name it, I have done it in some form of fashion, and I haven't quite narrowed down my beautiful path. I have been trying to get hooked on the water talk or get so like into it that and it doesn't work. So for the most part, this is at least what works for me. Hydration is hard. I don't have a problem with drinking liquids. I just don't like plain Jane water all the time. Now, if I'm running very late at night, or in certain situations, of course, like pure water just can be straight water. For the most part, like I like a little bit of flavor, and I have had so many of the like squeeze or the tears and you pour the powder in and stuff like that, and those aren't my favorite. So I've gotten to this point. I take natural juice, whatever that may be. I usually find a juice that naturally like helps me in some type of way, whether, like cranberry juice, if we need orange juice for the 6 seasons, any type of juice. Like I said, I usually do like the research on what's specific vitamins, and I try to like narrow that down to what I might need. And then I do anywhere, now depending on the juice, I'm very particular. If it's grape juice, 75% water, 25% grape juice. Not gonna lie, that stuff thick, it's beautiful, very powerful, don't need a lot. And then that also helps me without intaking all that sugar, because if you drink just straight up juice, that's real bad for you. So I water it down, but I still get the flavor and I'm still getting hydrated, right? But on the opposite side, orange juice, I'm sorry, orange juice watered down is really gross, right? Not my favorite. So I would say that one's usually like more of a 50-50. So I'll do about 50% of the, if not maybe 40-60, 40% of the orange juice, 6% of the water. Doesn't matter how you're getting your water in, but hydration, literally brain function. That's the biggest thing that you need to take from this, right? Your brain needs so many chemicals, not only to live, but to function, because there is a lot of, what is the word? I want to scientifically say this where it's not going to confuse y'all. I don't want to say the word electricity, but your nerves do run on electrical charge, right? That electrical charge, I want you to think of it like a spark or a fire. Well, the more water and oxygen, think about that. Think of water, it's H2O, 2 hydrogens compared to the 1 oxygen. Your brain needs those chemicals, right? Just like breathing. You need O2. It goes boom, it allows you to live. Same thing through water. You're giving your brain all of those chemicals that it needs to function and process. Well, when you aren't giving, the actual juju charge of, the sleep, you're not exercising, so you're not allowing your brain to actually be used. You're not drinking, so you're not allowing for all those chemicals that allows it to function better. In other words, I can go all the way back through. Long story short, there's 5 tips. I'm not going to keep going on and on. How many times? I want to count. I'm going to go back when I'm editing this. I'm going to count how many times I said long story short. I really am. That one has to be annoying. By the way, if you hit me up and you're like, Winter, you haven't noticed this, but you say this 12,000 times, please let me know. The first one was or I'm very big about like, hey, you're talking to them, make sure you're not doing that. I've listened to podcasts and they do that, and it kind of, I wouldn't say bug me or irks me, but it's just not my favorite. So I naturally always want to get better and have growth. It's that 1% rule. So that's my next one after this, is just to naturally like figure out some of those sayings, or like, hey, why did you say that 12 and a half times in a 2 minute period? You didn't need to do that, homie. Okay, so very last thing, kind of before we start like wrapping and tying everything up, is I wanted this video to have some bit of an inspiration. I really love getting to the end of these and you saying, or getting off this podcast and you either implementing or you getting excited or revved up and you're actually like, dude, thank you, winner. You hyped me up. Let's go kill the day. Because number one, just a couple things I want to say this. Number one, I'm proud of you. I know I have already said this in multiple different videos, and I don't know if it's annoying because you hear it from people, or if it's the first time you heard it in a couple of days, and that's why I do it. But I'm proud of you. You're out here kicking butt. I see you out here on a daily basis, and you know what? Excuse my language, but I am going to quote Megan the Stallion here. So if you are one of my students or under the age of 18, literally put fingers in your ear. I'm going to say it in 3, 2, 1. Bad bitches have bad days too. Point blank, period. I love it. It's the song Anxiety by Megan the Stallion, and she is so raw, she's so pure. She literally goes into the fact of like she wants to talk to people like Marilyn Monroe and Whitney, because like, or Whitney Houston, if you didn't know Whitney. When I say Whitney, there's only one Whitney for me, but R.I.P. Anyways, see, I did it again. Look at that, lost in the sauce. But she goes on to say in that song that like, hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, baby, you had bad days too, eh? And it's just being real. And that's what this podcast is. It is keeping it real. And it's okay to have bad days. If anything, it's okay to have bad weeks, and it's okay to have bad months, okay? January 2025 will go down in the record books for one of the more challenging, like, what in tarnation, like literally, like I am so even mind blown to this point of what happened in January 2025 for me and how that plays into the rest of it. But I'm not going to allow January 2025 to dictate the rest of my 2025, because it's my year and I'm going to live it, and I'm still super excited for it no matter how the cards may fall. And I want you to have that same thing. So I'm proud of you. Keep killing it out there. And don't forget, no matter how 2025 has treated you so far this year, it's still your year. You go out there, like, keep doing it. Proud of you, okay? Second thing, I believe in you. I've been seeing this a lot, and I've been trying my best to really implement this, but it's the fact that you cannot succeed unless you try. And most people do not like to try, because naturally, if there is a succeed and try, that means there also has to be the opposite, which is failure. A lot of people are scared of that failure, right? I hate to say this. You want to hear the most vulnerable, honest thing? I used to be a school teacher. I used to be respected. I used to have this very fond, like, level, like, I mean, I had rules in my classroom. There's certain students that literally like hit me up all the time, and they're like, it's so crazy that you used to be like this teacher and like all of this, and like now I'm seeing you on social media and you're like silly goosey. And like, don't get me wrong, I was always a silly goose as an educator, but I held high standards for my students because I truly, at the end of the day, wanted them to succeed. Now we can succeed while having fun, but that's our main priority, and that depends on you and how well you can handle your action. That's a whole different ballpark for a whole different story. But vulnerably, guys, I'm so scared to fail. I am so scared that I have spent the last 6 months doing real estate. Now, full disclosure, I love real estate. I love it so much. My job is literally one of my favorite jobs that I've ever done. I miss my students, and that's not a hate on students. But the amount of times that I have helped people, or I've saved them from anxiety attacks, or I have seen them actually get so very excited, or I help them find that missing puzzle pieces that they needed, or even, I mean, I take inspiration from certain agents, whether they're teaching me or whether I get the opportunity to teach them, and I love what I do every day. I really do. And I'm scared crapless, to be honest with you, because my goal, I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but I haven't been shy telling people this, but I have until August. I believe in August I could still pull something out of a hat and still be able to get a job in education. So from now till August, I wish my best in the world of real estate. I hope that I can succeed. I hope that you know what? Even if I don't succeed for myself, I would love to succeed for y'all. Even if y'all means the 2.5 people who are listening or the 2.5 people who follow me on social media and they take my life as that motivation and that inspiration of, yes, you can have a job, you can have a career, you can spend 6 years in college doing what you want, but still being able to say, hey, I want more. And then being able to put all your bells and whistles into something else and making that just truly as successful. So, yeah, I'm real nervous now. I don't know what to say because I'm scared. I hope you know I hustle every day. Like, I'm not going to explain what I do, unless you're a first time buyer, because I will do everything and anything under the sun. I got you. I got you, right? Or even like a seller. Like, if you want your house listed, I'm telling you, if you need me to stand in front of your house Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 or like 4 to 6, really, because that's honestly the better times, like the most busiest time and you're on a high traffic road, I will stand outside that and I will literally put like, I will show you this house, come buy it. Like, I am that girl. If I do anything, I'm usually going to do it 1,000%. So wish me luck. But moving forward, I say that back to, how we always make our way back, is I believe in you. And if you're scared because you might fail, or you're scared because you might think about what other people think, or this or that, don't. You know what? I think Cat Williams says it really good, and this is funny. The amount of people that I've brought into this, like Megan Thee Stallion, Cat Williams, is crazy. But he says it that you need haters. Everyone and their mama, like even if we go religious, and I'm not going to bring up his name because you can easily see this, but everyone and their mama has had haters. And you know what? Haters make you grow. You want to know why? Because they help you not only push through, they help you truly find yourself in your morals. They actually allow you to grow and see that people's words, unless they have high meaning to you, they don't mean much. I don't care if a 13-year-old says that I'm not funny on social media. I'm lying to you. I will cry in the background. But for the most part, I'm going to take that, be like, oh, he said I wasn't funny. I wonder why. I'm going to analyze the video. I'm going to be like, maybe it was too long. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was the jokes. Maybe or what. But I'm going to say, number one, thank you. That was a view. I appreciate it. Go back, share it, repost it. Hi, right? Number two, thank you so much. That was an extra comment. I hate to say this, but if you didn't know this, algorithm-wise, like comments and commenting back and all that, it's an interaction thing. So you doing that is actually very, very good for your social media. So let those haters hate. You go in there and you either kill them with kindness and the most sweetest thing, or you funny way, like make it to, real estate, or you could just be like, well, I'm really sorry, bud, but don't forget that the follow button is optional. And, and like, do you, whatever you is, whether you are an entrepreneur, real estate agent, or whether you are a 15, 16-year-old student of mine from the past and you're worried about what you post on social media and how people look at you and all that, and it's not their business, it's not their life, they're not going to hold your hand or see you for the rest of it, so don't let them have that. Oh, another one. If they ain't paying, wait, what is it, hold on, haha, forget their 2 cents if it ain't going towards the bill. And I believe that's where we probably need to end this podcast. Guys, I love you. I respect you. I'm proud of you. I believe in you, and I believe that you can do this. I believe you can take absolute success and make it your number one thing for the year of 2025. And if no one else is in your corner, at least I am. So we're gonna end this podcast. I actually, for the first time, I put a timer behind y'all. So before I even end this video, y'all have been listening. I'm proud of you. But we're going to end this like we normally do. So 1 second, I'm going to take a cup of coffee. I'm going to take a sip. If we started with a sip, we got to end with a sip. So 1 second. It's beautiful. It tastes so very good. Alrighty, guys. So I hoped you liked Winter Wellness. Like I said, this episode was just a free-flowing brain thing where we just kind of sit back, we analyze where we are in 2025. Hopefully you get a little bit of inspiration from this and you go out and you kill the day and you kill the week and you kill the month and you kill the year, because you can do it, and I believe in you. And remember, bad somethings have bad days too, so don't let one day, 1 week, or 1 month allow that to dictate the rest of those 365 days, okay? So, as always, I love my saying. It's one of my favorites. So, until next time, remember, stay warm, stay curious, and don't forget to look for those own wonders in your own life. I am Winter with Winter Wonders. We'll see you next one. Bye, guys. That was kind of cool. Oh, by the way, I remember I said this in like the very, 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 very first video, and I was like, I want to have something like at the end of the video that they could like stay tuned and watch. And then I believe every single episode I've posted since that one, there has not been one like that. So, I guess I don't know what to say. I had a blast. I hope you had a blast.
You're a really cool person, and don't forget, if they don't like you, just text them back, your mom. That's how you win. If you wondered how I dealt with my haters, that is your mom. That's it. Ready? I'm gonna say it again. Say it with me on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2. Your mom. Guys, it works. Just saying. I've done it to a 12-year-old as much as a 21-year-old, all the way up to an 81-year-old. I look at them in the eye. I search for that soul. I hold on to it and I say, your mother. Oh my God, that's so weird. Okay, anyways, bye guys. Lots of love. Okay, we're done. Okay. That was the coffee. That was too much. Okay, bye guys.